Good afternoon. I'm Chef Terry Barber, one of the corporate chefs from Manitowoc. On behalf of all the operating companies of Manitowoc Food Service, welcome to the Innovation Studio and a special welcome to those joining us online. It's my pleasure today to speak with you about the latest innovation in fryers from FryMaster. This past year, FryMaster celebrated two events that are unsurpassed in the industry. First, we celebrated our 75th anniversary of service to the food service industry. And secondly, we were awarded for the 10th straight year Best in Class in fryers. If you put that in sports terms, it's like winning 10 Super Bowls in a row competing against more than one team. Throughout its illustrious history, FryMaster has been a company of firsts. We were the first with the open pot fryer. We were the first with the compensating computer. We were first with the footprint filtration. And we were the first introducing high-efficiency fryers into the food service industry, utilizing our infrared burner system. And finally, about 4 years ago, we were the first to introduce reduced oil volume fryers into the industry. It's my pleasure today to present to you the second generation of those oil-conserving fryers, the OCF 30. The OCF 30 is a robust family of fryers that will save you 40% in gas, 10% in energy, and give you the same outstanding performance that you've come to expect from FryMaster in our 50-pound pots. As I said, it's a robust family of fryers. It's available in gas, utilizing our 75,000 BTU burner, open pot design, and it's available in electric in two different voltages. It's available in the 14 kW as well as the 17 kW. Why would you need 17 kWs of heat generation in a 30-pound pot? Well, if you have a very fry-intensive operation, or you have that one product that requires that little extra boost to cook, the 17 kW gives it that extra horsepower to have a successful fry operation. Additionally, for the first time, we've offered the reduced oil volume fryers in a single pot. They come available in split vat as well as a 14-inch full vat configuration. They're also available in batteries from 2 pots to 4. It comes with a complete list of options, including auto top-off, which we'll talk more about later, basket lifts, spreader cabinets, and the capability of handling bulk oil, whether it's the delivery and pickup system or whether it's a jib-based system such as from Frontline International. Let's talk about a couple of components that are common between the gas and the electric. The first is the brains of our system. It is a Smart4U 3000 controller. It is the first truly bilingual computer in the industry today. In the past, if you wanted to change languages, you were required to go into the setup mode of the computer, using a password, change the language, save that information, back out, and turn your fryer back on. Well, today, with the Smart4U 3000, it's simply a 2-button press, hold for 5 seconds. At the beep, you can now change languages. You can toggle back and forth between 2 different languages. So you can have an English-speaking cook in the morning, and you can have a Spanish-speaking cook in the afternoon, and they're able to utilize the functions of the controller in their native language. Additionally, we included a cool mode, so that if the fryer is not used for a programmable period of time that you specify, the controller will revert back to a lower temperature, around 250 degrees, and it will maintain that 250 degree temperature. Now, let's think about it. If you're at 350 and it sets back to 250, it takes a long time for that oil to drop down to 250 degrees. But what we're doing is we're shutting the burners off, saving you energy. Now, it has to be off several hours before it actually gets down to 250 degrees. But if it should get that low before your next fry operation, it's only a 3 to 5 minute process to be back up to your program set point. Another great feature of the Smart For You 3000 is the 20 product buttons. There are one push button to start the cook, to cancel the cook, and to end the alarm for the end of cycle count. Another great feature is our easily removable menu strip, where you can use felt tip pen to include your customized options. On the back, it's completely blank, allowing you to truly customize to fit your operation. The second feature I want to touch on is our FryMaster built-in Footprint Pro filtration. We introduced this into the market many years ago as the first built-in filtration system. It's quick, it's easy, and it's reliable. The thing about being easy, we find that if we make something easy to do, generally it'll get done. If it's difficult and you have to go to a closet, you have to drag out a portable filter, you have to find the filters, you have to get the hoses, it just doesn't get done. By being located within the footprint of the fryer itself, we find that it gets done when it's supposed to get done, therefore giving you increased oil life and a better quality product. Additionally, it reduces oil handling. Gone are the days where you have to continually remove that oil back and forth. The third feature I want to talk about is our proprietary oil attendant system, or we refer to it as automatic top-off. As you can see, it's simply a 35-pound jug. You remove the lid, you remove the tin foil lining, and you insert the hose into the jib, lock it down on the front, slip it back into place, close the door, and you're now set up to keep your fryers at the optimum level. The way we do that is we have a sensor located in the back. It knows what the level of the oil is supposed to be. As it drops down below that sensor, it sends a message to the controller and says, I'm out of oil, or I'm low on oil, can you please fill me up? The controller then sends a message to the pump to come on. We slowly introduce oil from the back and bottom of the pot to raise the oil level back to where it's supposed to be. It's intentionally we do it this way so that we don't decrease the temperature of the oil, causing the burners to come on and waste energy. The only time we want the burner on is when we're actually cooking something. So by doing it this way, it doesn't shock the oil, and so therefore the burners do not come on. Also, gone are the days where you have to pick up that 35-pound jug and hope that you can get it in there without splattering some on you. So a safety feature as well. So if you remember on the title slide, we talked about saving you a minimum of 40 pounds of oil, 40% oil. And the way we do that is very simple. You have a 50-pound fryer here, you have a 30-pound fryer here. You're going to throw the oil away every 5 days, let's say. If you do throw the oil away every 5 days, you're going to save 2,200 pounds of oil in the course of a year, and at about $1 a pound, it's about $2,200. That's a pretty good number, but, and as we always know, there is a but, through independent third-party testing and from our own testing in the field, we can, in some instances, triple the life of the oil. So saving 2,200 pounds of oil is a great deal, but think of the environmental benefits as well. You're putting 40% less plastics and cardboard in landfills, and you're processing 40% less spent oil throughout the year. And as my chef buddy, Chef Gunner from Diamond Jack in Bossier City says, don't forget the energy. And the reason is if you've got 50 pounds and 30 pounds, it takes 10% less energy to heat 10 pounds of oil and hold it at temperature than it does 50 pounds of oil and hold it at temperature. We also said on our title slide that you get the same performance as you've come to expect from our line of 50-pound fryers. On the screen behind me, it shows our OCF 30 gas will produce 69 pounds of French fries per hour. That's equivalent to our H55 high-efficiency gas fryer. This is a 50-pound model. Our OCF 14 electric will produce 71 pounds per hour, and our OCF 17 will produce 78. That's a good indication of that extra horsepower, an extra 7 pounds of fries per hour. These are both comparable to what you would expect in our 50-pound RE14 and RE17 series. But doing French fries is fairly blasé. I mean, you know, everybody can do French fries. This is the important one. This is fresh breaded, double dipped chicken strips. Our electric 17 kW can do 70 pounds per hour, and you filter after the 15th cook. So why do we need to filter after 15 cooks? The amount of sediment that's created by fresh breaded product is much more than what you would see in freezer to fryer. We know we can go throughout the day with a freezer to fryer products and only filter one time at that midday point. But when you're cooking something with a lot of sediment, it builds up, and we don't want that buildup of sediment to impinge upon the elements or the heating surface of the burners themselves, causing it to scorch and burn and give you those off flavors. So we've made it easy. On our Smart For You 3000 controller, when you press that button for strips, it's going to count each time that button is done. On the 15th button push, when that cook cycle ends, it's going to come up and say, I need you to filter. You press yes, you filter, you go back to cook, and it starts all over again. So we're reminding that you have to cook. You have to filter after that 15th cook. On our gas full vat, on our GF30 gas, you can do 60 pounds per hour, and you're going to have to filter after about the 12th round. Same thing, the computer is going to prompt you. And on a very dense product, like a frozen breaded chicken wing, we're able to accomplish 38 pounds per hour, and again, because it's freezer to fryer, you'll only have to filter at that midday point. Another important consideration when you're looking investing in kitchen equipment is our warranty. On our electric fryers, the pots themselves are guaranteed for life. All other components are guaranteed for 1 year, full parts and labor. On our gas fryers, the pot and combustion system are warranted for 7 years. All other components are 1 year parts and labor. As I mentioned, we've had this in field test at a couple locations, and the first is at Diamond Jack's Casino and Resort in Bossier City, Louisiana. The executive chef there is Chef Gunter, and you can see his menu on the screen behind me. It's a very balanced menu. It's frozen product like frozen naked wings. He has fresh raw products like jalapeno poppers. He has fresh breaded products like chicken strips, but he also has a wet battered product that he produces in the fryer. Prior to OCF, they were throwing their oil away every 3.5 days. Now, what I failed to mention is that this is a Mexican concept within the casino that's only open from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. So they're only operating 5 hours per day. So they were throwing their oil away every 3.5 days, which is about 17.5 hours of operation. After we put the OCF in, they now get 9 days of life in the same amount of oil. If you look at the cost reductions prior to OCF, they were disposing of 10,430 pounds of oil per year. After we put the OCF in, and they filter one time a day, that's halfway through their operation, they're only disposing of 2,436 pounds of oil, and at 82 cents a pound, they're saving $6,558 a year in a 6-hour day. The second location is called Top Star Express. It's a convenience store location up in the northeastern part of the United States. And it's basically a freezer to fryer operation. But there's a couple of products that make this unique. They're doing an 8-cut bone-in chicken product, frozen and breaded, and it's being cooked from frozen. And their JoJo fries are like 50-count potatoes that have been wedged and heavily seasoned and heavily battered. Prior to OCF, they were disposing of the oil every 3 days. Now they're disposing of the oil every 7 days. Their oil savings prior to OCF, they were disposing of 12,170 pounds of oil per year. After OCF, they're disposing of oil of 3,120 pounds, and that's a savings of $9,322. Ladies and gentlemen, that's over $9,000 that goes straight to the bottom line. In conclusion, I want to talk about some of the competitive advantages that we feel we have. While we were the first, there are other companies now that offer reduced oil volume fryers. I simply think we are the best because of our long history of utilizing these types of technology and some of the advantages that I'm going to share with you now. The first is our electric fryers. As I spoke before, we offer 17 and 14. But the type of element we use is also critically important. We use a 3-wire flat bar element. That gives you 25% more heating surface area to raise that shortening temperature up more gently than a single wire with the extreme hot temperatures. Additionally, having 3 wires inside of it, if one of those wires should break, you can continue cooking. The only thing that might be affected is you might have a little slower recovery time, but you're still in business, you can still cook product. Whereas with a coil rod or a bird nest type elements, you cannot cook if the wire breaks. Additionally, our swing up, stay in place elements make it much easier to clean the pot as well as clean the burners. Our top off system, our oil attendant, is available in 2, 3, and 4 pot systems. The only one it's not available in is our single pot, and that's simply because there's no space to mount the jib. It's also available without the automatic top off feature, and the reason we do that is there are still companies that use solid shortening and semi-solid. We want them to have the advantage in using this oil saving technology, so therefore they are offered without the ATO. Additionally, our controller, again, 20 product buttons, simple press, no toggling back and forth. Also, our warranty, as we stated before, 7 years combustion system on gas, lifetime on the pot, where our competition goes 0 to 3 years full, 3 to 7 years parts only. Another great feature is it's the same standard Frymaster design of individual pots. If one pot should happen to go bad, you're able to replace that pot in the field. Our competition has elected to weld their pots in place, making a field change impossible and resulting in having the fryer shipped back to the factory for a pot replacement. And finally, our gas is our same open pot design made famous by Frymaster 75 years ago. It makes it easy to clean, touch every surface, and it makes a marvelous fryer for having to keep it clean. I thank you for joining me today. Again, I'm Terry Barber, one of the corporate chefs. If there are any questions, I will be happy to take them now. Thank you.